گوش کنید خواهش می‌کنم. به زبان انگلیسی است ولی گوش کنید. جالبه.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. I am indeed honored to be in your presence at this prestigious gathering. I am particularly glad to have the opportunity to meet some of my fellow compatriots who excel in various scientific fields, from science and technology to medicine. When the Scientific Program Committee of IBM ISPS invited me to attend this conference and asked me to say a few words, I thought to myself, what is it that I could possibly share with you, not as a scientist, which I am not, but which is something that you may not know about me outside my main field of endeavor, which is politics. Speaking of politics, it has been said that it is not an exact science. I can certainly confirm the veracity of such a statement. As a matter of fact, my own interest in science emanates from this important fact that in science, one has to be precise and able to back all theories or propositions with empirical and verifiable data. During my adolescence back in my homeland, I always had great curiosity about a variety of science-related topics, be it about nature, space, our universe, and the like. This could be partially based on a long history of science we have in our culture. Most Iranians, even now, are inspired by our famous mathematicians and astronomers like Khayyam and Biruni, or great physicians like Avicenna and Rhazes, the discoverer of alcohol. Beyond our school syllabus, I always tried to educate myself about nature and our environment. Back then, there was no such thing as the internet, or the Discovery, Science, or even the NASA channel in the United States, let alone Iran. But I did watch a variety of documentaries, such as the undersea exploration of Jacques Cousteau, to whom I owe my interest in scuba diving and marine biology, or Harun Taziev, to whom I owe my interest in geology, or Carl Sagan, to whom I owe my passion for astronomy and cosmology. I particularly enjoyed watching many weekends, and in black and white, various Star Trek episodes. Indeed, I was fascinated by the idea of space travel and the insatiable search of mankind for new frontiers and other worlds. We all learned in school about the Big Bang theory of cosmology or Darwin's work on evolution. Had it not been for science and the relentless and dedicated efforts of scientists, could we have witnessed such rapid progress in technology in such a short amount of time? But what really affected me beyond the science itself was Gene Roddenberry's vision of a future where there are no more political boundaries or thirst for material gain, a world in which various cultures and races come together and strive at improving themselves on a journey of discovery. It may sound as a distant dream, but I always believe that as human beings, we can overcome so much by putting our minds up to it and demonstrate the will and the sacrifice which is required to stir away from all the ills and problems our world is faced with. I suppose this thought crosses the minds of millions of people, whether they are scientists, artists, or politicians. When I first heard about interdisciplinary research, I visualized a new trend which would reflect the next level of scientific achievement and a convergence of skills. I have come here today to learn more about it from so many distinguished specialists. There is indeed a growing consensus that breaking walls of separation and building bridges of collaboration is the way to a healthier future. The benefits of interdisciplinary research are apparent as we observe the exponential increase in knowledge of the human brain, its physiology, and our ability to study and treat brain diseases. This explosion of knowledge has been achieved by applying the tools of modern science to the study of the brain. The application of nanotechnology to the treatment of brain disease requires material scientists, chemists, computer scientists, neurologists, chemical engineers, bioengineers, and radiologists working together to develop new therapies. As we improve our ability to diagnose and treat disease, we improve our ability to decrease human suffering and combat diseases which afflict mankind. Brain diseases take an enormous toll on human population. Brain diseases cost the United States healthcare system more than $167 billion a year. Brain diseases, including Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and multiple sclerosis, rob people of their memory, functionality, and dignity. Stroke, traumatic brain injury, tumors and infection produce irreparable damage to the human nervous system. As our ability to understand the brain and relate its structure to mental function improves, we need to investigate methods to repair the damage and restore lost function. These disease states represent us with an enormous scientific challenge. We must apply the scientific method to understand their anatomic and physiologic origins, and then use a multidisciplinary approach to create the tools and devices necessary to restore function. Here, I wish to congratulate the International Brain Mapping and Intraoperative Surgical Planning Society's Board of Directors and its members for their leadership role in promoting interdisciplinary research in brain diseases. Neurosurgery, neuroimaging, and advocate multidisciplinary approach to healthcare policy development, which allows translation of cutting-edge research to clinical setup. This, combined with sound healthcare policy, could bring the best of science, technology, and medicine to people around the world. From a layman's standpoint, I can assume that this new horizon would greatly help expedite the expansion of our current scientific horizon to unprecedented levels. Beside the obvious benefits, I am certain that the increased collaboration among scientists and scientific institutions will also contribute, beyond science itself, to the betterment of relations among nations and strengthen the bonds among citizens the world over. I firmly believe that the sorely needed pragmatism of truth-seeking scientists should serve as an example for the rest of us and all those who seek to improve our quality of life, our mental and physical health, and our environment. I also believe that our policy making as a world community should become more and more evidence-based. Verifiable scientific data is the best foundation upon which we can build and reach sound local and global decisions. This ought to become our way of the future and to allow so many ideals to become a tangible reality. I hope for a future where most people will resort to critical thinking, approach their problems scientifically, and act upon them rationally. To achieve this goal, we clearly need to narrow further the gap between politicians and bureaucrats on the one hand and scholars and scientists on the other. As such, mentally and physically healthy people will build healthier societies, and healthier societies will usher a better future for many more generations to come. In the long run, we could foresee a world devoid of political boundaries and rid of ideological fanaticism. A world where people and their representative governments opt for dialogue and not wars or genocide. In closing, allow me to reiterate that we owe so much to the scientific community, and it is in this spirit that I simply wanted to convey to you my personal admiration and gratitude for the invaluable service to mankind, and wish you great success in your endeavors. Thank you very much.
سخنان یک رهبر سیاسی در یک مجمع علمی ناب.